I accidentally turned these two acapellas into a crazy song, and I'm going to show you guys how I did it. So I was in my room as usual making beats, but it was one of those days where I just couldn't come up with anything at all. So I decided to find an acapella to hopefully work around and use that as some inspiration. Eventually, after looking on YouTube for a while, I found the vocals for Out of Time by Bryson Tiller and Drake, and I thought this is a perfect place to start. After a while, I managed to get these chords down with the Rhodes. I processed them with a shaper box, an EQ, and some reverb. Next, I added a counter melody using this synth preset from mine and Kill September's upcoming Analog Lab Bank. After that, I added a slabby bass and a reversed 808. So I carried on making the beat by adding this Afrobeats perk loop, a rim shot, and this shaker loop. Then I added a 4 on the floor kick with another lighter kick next to it for some extra bounce. And finally, I added these two perk sounds. Then I had the idea, what if I chopped the vocals into more of a dancey electronic kind of vibe? Something like this Fred Again track that I'd been listening to a bunch recently. So I chopped some of the more catchy melodic parts of the vocals into a hook section, which sounds like this. They're flooded with effects, including a reverb, EQ, a delay, and an alter boy, which is what gives it that really unique tone. After that, I added another vocal layer, which is pitched up an octave and has a slightly different effects chain. And finally, for this section of the vocals, I chose the Out of Time vocal chop and put that to end the loop. These types of tracks always have really big hooks that get built up into. So for the B section, I wanted to add a couple more elements to really fill it out. First, I copied the same chords, but I used a synth preset from Ondine in Contact. And I also added this one shot from Layers Volume 2, which I used as a counter melody. And finally, I added this bass, which is much lower and longer than the previous two basses. At this point, I felt like the project was a little bit slow. We were sitting at 100 BPM, so I sped it up to 130 to give it that more dancey feel. And I started to structure it differently using transitions and different elements. To start with, there's a 2-bar loop with a percussion and a drum fill to set off the first drop. And when it drops, there's a sweep down hitting on the 1. For the B section of the hook, we wanted to make this the really big part, so I added a couple more effects. First is a reverse cymbal that I used as a riser, and also an impact which really sets off the B section. Finally, to finish the track off, I wanted to add a rap verse. Again, I was scrolling through YouTube and I found the vocals were Sticky by Drake. They ended up fitting perfectly and sounded amazing on this drum bounce.
Hanging on my neck, the bracelet matches a set. My brother name is Tina Dollar. Stop all that back and forth over the.
If you guys want to listen to this track, it's up on my SoundCloud right now, and I'll see you guys in the next one.